So we continue the story of Jesus mending our broken shalom. And for the next couple of songs, we are going to just look at the certain events that happened at Easter when Jesus went to the cross. And this is our first song. This song is called Scent of Occasion, and it's based on John chapter 12.
Such a costly sacrifice. A broken jar, quickly criticized by a thief and those wickedly wise, knowing nothing about the value, 'cause they only see the price. Perfumed commotion, sensing the occasion with a scent of occasion, scent of occasion. Mary, Mary, Mary of Bethany, you did what you did and you walked in as you pleased. You had the fingers wagging, not that you cared, as you gently let down all your dark brown hair. I wish I was there. Such a lovely, lovely spill of treasure. The gift you gave will always be remembered. That camera moment, the crowd and the teacher. How could you know what's to come so soon after? Pure poured devotion. He's a man on a mission. He's at the center of occasion, with a scent of occasion, scent of occasion. Mary, Mary, Mary of Bethany, you did what you did and you walked in as you pleased. You had the fingers wagging, not that you cared, as you gently let down all your dark brown hair. Mary, Mary, Mary of Bethany, you did what you did and you walked in as you pleased. You had the fingers wagging, not that you cared, as you gently let down all your dark brown hair. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. Mary, 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 Mary. I wish I was there. And I wish I was there.
So from the story of Mary of Bethany, we fast forward to the events that happened on Maundy Thursday, where Jesus washed the feet of his disciples during the Last Supper. And a few years ago, our church had a call out to various artists to reflect on passages leading up to Jesus' crucifixion on the cross. And as a musician, I responded, and my passage was on Jesus washing the feet of the disciples. And that's where we came up with the idea of the music to the washing, and later on the words to amplify the story. This is the story behind our next song. It's called The Washing.
An evening supper with Paschal lamb, 12 brothers gathered for the breaking of bread, a drying towel, bath basin filled, hands wiping soles of each friend you well knew. And then you wash the feet of Judas too. Yes, you wash the feet of Judas too. It was the cold, cold feet that would soon walk away. And then you wash the feet of Judas too. Judas too. Yes, you wash the feet of Judas too. It was the cold, cold feet that would soon walk away. Yet you wash the feet of Judas too.
The song Golgotha was inspired by a 182-line poem written by an Englishman in the 19th century. His name was Francis Thompson, and he had been a drug addict, opium addict, living in the streets of London, homeless, and he was ministered by Christians who reached out to him to help him out. He wrote this poem about the mercy of God, and God, as if he's like a hound, instead of hunting you down to devour you, hunts you down to save you. And so we moved from the 2nd floor to the 7th floor in our new flat. And that's where you see the tree line, the treetops, Occasionally, there will be a couple of these birds called the Brahmini kites, a local bird of prey, circling like a hawk.
We were thinking that it is like the Lord, how there's the hound and then there's the
hawk.
The hawk, yeah, and the hawk also hunts us down, not to devour us, but to intercept us with his mercy and his grace, and how he pursues us so doggedly.
And that's the idea behind this next song, Golgotha, that looks into the tenderness and the tenacity of Christ in his journey to the cross.
With such a knowing gaze through all my labyrinth years and bone-dry desert days, and who pursues my scent so urgently? It's a hunter on a mission to be the prey of treachery. On Golgotha, should have been on that tree, but you chased down the sinner and hung up there for me on Golgotha. I saw the reason why you did what you did and said what you said when you ended with a cry. It is finished. It is finished. And who perused from the edge of galaxies, then circles like a kite that dives into our destiny, and who subdues man's violent enemy. This predator called death is now a thing of history. On Golgotha, I should have been on that tree, but you chased down the sinner and hung up there for me on Golgotha. Saw the reason why you did what you did and said what you said when you ended with a cry on Golgotha. I should have been on that tree, but you chased down the sinner and hung up there for me on Golgotha. Saw the reason why you did what you did and said what you said, and you ended with a cry. It is finished. It is finished.
So if you're watching this and you've been counting, Golgotha is song 9, one more new song to go. But what these new songs allow us to do is to dig back deep into our past repertoire and play them again for audiences such as yourself. Our next song is an older song. It's taken from the last chapter of John's Gospel. And it starts with the question, why did Jesus stay back after his resurrection? Why did he remain behind for 40 days? Because if you think about it, theologically, he had already secured salvation. And I was thinking about this, and I think maybe perhaps it was out of his love and care and concern for his friends to mend them, because by the time they had gone through Good Friday up to Resurrection Sunday, they were still a broken bunch. So he appeared first to the mournful Mary Magdalene and restored her sadness to joy before sending her out to tell her friends that he's risen. He also appeared to the fearful. The disciples were very scared and huddled together, and he appeared before them and showed them his wounds and allowed them to touch him. And I guess our favorite mending story has to be the incident where Jesus appeared in John 21. His disciples had gone out fishing the whole night, catching nothing. And he is there at dawn, calling out to them, asking them, have you caught anything? They replied, no. And he gives the instruction, why don't you cast your net on the right side of the boat? And they did that, and they caught 153 fish. And the Gospels name those disciples on the boat. There is Nathaniel, who's depicted in the Gospels as a cynic. There's Peter, of course, who denied Jesus 3 times. There was also John with his brother James, the sons of Zebedee, and they're famous for fighting in the Bible, right? Jostling who is the greatest. There's also Thomas, who is mentioned, who is the doubter, and 2 unnamed disciples. And if you look at this group, it's like a boat of failures, And I always imagine the 2 unnamed disciples could be Earnest and Ming Li, because many times we also feel like we're failures in life, right? Belonging to the boat. And Jesus appears and restores and comforts his friends.
So if you're fearful, if you're mournful, if you're heartbroken, we just want to invite you to come and meet this wonderful Savior, this Jesus, who is able to come to you and speak to you, and who loves you. So we hope you enjoy the song 153.
Cold sand between his toes, a stick to stoke the coals. He's minding a fireplace at dawn for the fishermen who trawled in vain on the sea of Galilee. They sailed the night in misery, and he hollered at sunrise, throw down your nets on the starboard side. You will find us supplies. And the boats were heaving with 153, a school of fish by the master's decree. He said, join me for toast when you bring in your single disciple swam quickest to shore. Others soon followed and found food prepared on an open grill, some fish and warm bread. Then the conversation turned to Peter, whose heart still yearned for pardon and love from the one he denied. So the Lord restored him, not 1, 2, but 3 times, saying, Son of Jonah, do you love me? If so, feed my lambs and care for my sheep. You are a rock, and that is the man I see. What did we do to find favor? Weren't we all so locked in our failures? Yet he with us came to be, where the land of water, he is everything we need. He's everything we need. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. And the boats are heaving with 153, a school of fish by the master's decree. He says, join me for toast when you bring in your catch to me.
The next song is Esther's song. And Esther's song was the first song that we wrote that retold these familiar Bible stories. And Esther's song is obviously based on the book of Esther, the story of this beautiful orphan who is raised by her cousin Mordecai. And she is brought to the harem of the king of Persia. They're living in exile at that time. And she is so beautiful and she has so much favor that she becomes the queen of the land. So her cousin Mordecai is unable to see her anymore. Now Mordecai has an enemy. His name is Haman. And Haman does not just hate Mordecai and want to kill him. He wants to exterminate the entire race. So he hatches this plot and, we discover it. And Mordecai goes to Esther and he asks her to intercede with the king because she has access to the king. But Esther's afraid because in those times you couldn't just go up to the king and even though you're the queen and enter into his presence. If he was not happy with you, if he did not extend the scepter, then you could very well be executed. So she tells Mordecai, no, I won't go, And Mordecai rebukes her. And here's what he says. He sent back this answer. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. So Esther receives the rebuke. She asks for prayer and she resolves to go into the king's presence and plead for the life of her people.
When I first read this and thought about it, I remember being in a garden, thinking about Esther's hesitancy in going to the king, and how much it resembles my own sense of wanting to give excuses to avoid challenging calls, for me to do something. So I was in the garden, and I saw on the wall a baby bird. And this baby bird was crouching on the wall and going to the edge of it and looking across over it and tracking back. It did that a few times. And then suddenly a gust of wind came and it scooped this baby bird up and tossed it out in the sky and started to fly. And instantly I kind of had a sense of what this story of Esther was all about, and was God talking to me through the story. And I felt God saying that, just as birds aren't made to crouch on walls, Esther was not made to be a queen in a castle in captive luxury. But for the bird and for Esther to find her purpose and design in life, they each had to just step up and take that little leap of faith. And immediately I went back home and put myself in Esther's high heel shoes, and I wrote this song about an imaginary conversation that Queen Esther had with this little bird just before she goes to the king. And this is Esther's song.
Hey little bird, I saw you stumble when you left your nest. You look so small, never giving up at all. I could see that you were frightened, yet you gently skipped the garden wall, fearing not the fall. You've got to fly, you've got to try. It's your design for such a time as this. Stretching your wings, taking a rest today, letting the winds whisk you. Things on earth will never be the same again. No, the things on earth will never be the same again. Orphan, exiled, queen in a castle, whether I'm here for long or a little while, I know what I have to I must be strong, yet sometimes I wonder, why does the fate of the nation rest with me, only by a hand unseen? You've got to fly, and I've got to try. It's our design for such a time as this. You'll stretch your wings, and I'll take a rest today. So let the winds whisk you away, and the things on earth will never be the same again. No, the things on earth will never be the meant to be beautiful and free. So I go to the King, not caring if I perish or if I will survive. It's my sacrifice. You've got to fly, and I've got to try. It's our design for such a time as this. Stretching your wings, taking a risk today. So let the winds whisk you away, and the things on earth will never be the same again. No, the things on earth will never be the same again. No, the things on earth will never be the same again. Things on earth will never be the same again. Never be the same again. Never be the same again. Never be the same again.
We're going to sing our final song. Now we've reached song 10. But before we end, we just want to thank you for staying with us in this concert. You know, it's been said that the purpose of a song is to find its listener. And we do hope that our songs have all found a place in your heart.
So we began this series of songs, this concert, talking about our separation from God. And we want to bring this concert to an end with a song on rest and restoration. This last song is called the Compline, and it's a prayer, the words of which were lifted from the Anglican Book of Common Prayer, and it's sung at the end of the day when we have completed the work, asking for safe havens and that peace that we all are seeking for. As we end this time together, may we all find rest in Christ.
Oh Lord, support us all day long until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes. Let every hurry in this world be hushed, that the fever of life will soon be over. When the work is done, then in your mercy grant us safe havens and your holy rest. When the work is done, then in your mercy grant us peace at last and your holy rest. Oh Lord, support us all day long until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes. Let every hurry in this world be hushed, that the fever of life will soon be over. When the work is done, then in your mercy grant us safe havens in your holy rest. When the work is done, then in your mercy grant us peace at last and your holy rest. Amen.
We're really thankful to be able to do this project in the time given to us with the resources as well. A few people off the head that we need to thank, of course, Clare and the crew. John was doing sound for us. Methodist School of Music for making the studio available for this recording.
They've never done it before.
We've
Not
never
with
done
the
it
film
before.
crew.
We've never done it before. Prior to this, both of us had COVID, and we weren't sure we would be able to execute the project in time. So thank you those who have been praying for us. Thank you Bishop Rennes, Julian, Burton, Val, Abel for supporting us in this project. We thank our families also who stood by us. And anyone else?
There's a long list. Going back 10 years.
Yeah, thank you Stan and Yuan
Yes.
also for journeying with us, and Pastor Joe for
Mentoring us all those
starting
years
us out on this journey of songwriting.
So thank you everyone who has prayed for us, who has journeyed with us, who have travailed with us through the difficult times, and just so grateful that we don't do it alone, but that we have a whole cloud of friends and supporters who have really blessed us so much.